Hello everyone and welcome back to Lewis News, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some leaked documents from Sony and of course PlayStation regarding Insomniac games and their new Spider-Man video games coming up in the next 5 to 10 years. And these leaks are absolutely huge, so you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of the video to catch everything. But before we do get to that, if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe, because this is your #1 YouTube channel for all types of Spider-Man news. If you want to stay in the loop with everything Spider-Man, this is the channel for you. With that being said, let's get straight into this. So essentially, this comes in from Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming were the first to report on this news, and they have essentially confirmed that apparently leaked documents from an Insomniac ransomware attack have suggested that the developers are now working on 2 brand new Spider-Man games to come in the next 5 to 10 years. Those being, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man 3, which is no surprise. We all knew that was going to happen in the first place. But the second game related to Spider-Man that they are currently rumored to be working on is a Spider-Verse game. Now, of course, the leaks also revealed a bunch of other stuff at Insomniac, including details about the new Wolverine coming up, including leaked images of the game that had been released online. I'm not going to put them, or try to even put them, on this video, because obviously I don't want it to get taken down. But I'm sure if you do enough digging, you will be able to find them. But either way, this confirms that apparently Insomniac are going to be working on Marvel Spider-Man 3 and a Spider-Verse game. Now, I usually say take these things with a grain of salt. However, Sony and PlayStation and Insomniac Games have all come out and said basically, yes, they have been hacked, which means all the Wolverine leaks, including the images and the supposed release date in late 2024, along with the fact that they are supposedly making a Spider-Verse game along with Marvel Spider-Man 3. Yes, it means that all of this is true. But what's also more concerning is that not only did these things leak, but also private information from current Insomniac employees and ex-employees as well. Now, I just want to point out that I am not for this. I don't think hacking is right, and leaking people's personal information online is right either. However, I also will say that because obviously we are a news channel and we do like to report on the news, we're going to be purely focusing on what this means for the Spider-Man character and what this means for Spider-Man games going forward. We will not be discussing any of the personal information of any of the employees or the ex-employees or anything really to do with Insomniac games. Well, we know that Marvel Spider-Man 3 is going to be the big conclusion and big finale probably to the Spider-Man franchise that Insomniac games are developing, which means that the Spider-Verse game that is supposedly meant to be in development probably is going to be the interim game in between Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel Spider-Man 3. Now, if we remember back to Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Marvel Spider-Man 2, the interim game in between those two was, of course, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, which does tie 1 and 2 together pretty nicely, fleshing out Miles' character in between both stories. Now, Marvel Spider-Man 3, in between Marvel Spider-Man 2, there isn't really much that they could do. Possibly a Cindy Moon type game. They could also maybe expand more on Miles' character, but that would just be Marvel Spider-Man 3 anyway. So there isn't really much to cover in between the two games. And it looks like, judging by the ending of Marvel Spider-Man 2, we are going to jump straight into Marvel Spider-Man 3 when we next pick up with those set of characters and with that story. So potentially the interim game that could potentially be, I don't know, an Uncharted Lost Legacy type game, an 8, 9, 10-hour game, could possibly be a Spider-Verse game, and it could be a fun game hopping around different universes, potentially even Spider-Verse characters hopping into the Marvel Spider-Man universe, and us playing as various different Spider-Men exploring the Spider-Verse as a whole. Now, this could potentially happen because, as we do know in Marvel Spider-Man 2, there have been many references to the Spider-Verse, of course, with the Spider-Bot side quest, where if you do collect all of the Spider-Bots from across the city, you will then get a Spider-Verse-like cutscene where, of course, Miguel O'Hara is name-dropped, and it is largely a reference to the Into and Across the Spider-Verse movies, which is really, really interesting. So that already opened the door for Spider-Verse to happen to these characters and kind of revolve around this universe. So there is a good chance potentially that this ends up actually happening. Now, there has been some backlash from the fans because many people believe that the multiverse is overused, and many people don't really like the idea of continuing to add the multiverse into grounded stories such as Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man, at this moment in time, is one of those few superhero franchises that actually doesn't involve the multiverse in some way. And many fans want that to stay the same, including myself. Although I think it would be cool that a Spider-Verse game could happen, and I think that is really, really interesting. I'd also prefer it maybe if it was separate, like if it's a separate game that has nothing to do with Marvel Spider-Man or Marvel Spider-Man 2 or 3 or whatever, then I'd be really happy with the Spider-Verse game. I just really hope it doesn't tie into Marvel Spider-Man 2 or Marvel Spider-Man 3. But I also think what is really interesting, if you remember, maybe like half a year ago now, we reported on the channel as well that Marvel Spider-Man 2 potentially had a Spider-Verse segment in the game. Now, obviously, this ended up being just a reference, but the initial rumor that we actually did end up reporting on the channel was that Spider-Verse apparently was meant to be a massive part of this game, and the second half of Marvel Spider-Man 2 was to include the multiverse on a very large scale. Now, what if this rumor had actually some truth in it, in that potentially there was plans originally to have the Spider-Verse be included in Marvel Spider-Man 2, but maybe it got pushed back to its own game. Now, this is all speculation, but since these emails do confirm that something Spider-Verse is in development in Insomniac Games, it might not be far from the truth that potentially Marvel Spider-Man 2 at some point did include the multiverse on a larger scale, because some of the rumors did dictate that narrative earlier in the year, if you guys remember that we reported on that. But with that being said, that is pretty much it for the news today. It's very interesting, very speculative, and I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would you like a Spider-Verse game? Would you like something Spider-Verse related? I want to know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like I did mention, to stay up to date with all types of Spider-Man news. I do appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.